It was just past 2 a.m. when the call came through. A whispering voice on the other end of the 911 line reported movement at Hollow Creek Cemetery, a place so forgotten it didn't even show up on most GPS maps anymore. The dispatcher, half asleep, logged it anyway and sent Deputy Claire Ridley to investigate. She expected nothing but raccoons, maybe a drunk teenager stumbling through tombstones on a dare. Instead, she found a man digging up a grave by hand. The man didn't run. He didn't even flinch. He simply looked up at her with hollow eyes and said, "I didn't come to steal. I came to tell the truth." He was gaunt, unshaven, and looked like he hadn't slept in days. In his arms he held a muddy, water-damaged journal and a sealed plastic bag containing a battered flip phone. His breath came in quick bursts, but there was something frighteningly calm in his eyes, like a man who had finally surrendered to a truth that wouldn't let him go. The name on the gravestone read, Dean Harlan, 1975 to 1999. Claire felt the hair rise on the back of her neck. Dean Harlan's death had been ruled a hunting accident 25 years earlier. According to the old report, he had been shot by a friend while they were drinking. The friend, Carter Blake, was never charged. No foul play suspected. No autopsy performed. But now, everything was in question. The man who had dug him up identified himself as Eli Mercer, a local drifter who had known Dean in their youth. Eli told Claire he'd received a message. Not a phone call, not a text. Something more haunting. A handwritten note left inside an old fishing tackle box Dean had willed to him years ago. The note was dated 3 weeks before Dean's death. "If I'm gone, dig me up. I left the truth with me." Claire opened the journal in the evidence room that night. The handwriting was shaky but urgent, full of grief and desperation. It started simply, "Her name was Emily Voss, and I helped bury her." As she flipped through the pages, the air around her seemed to thicken. Every word bled with remorse and horror. Emily Voss had been a college student, just 22 years old when she disappeared in 1998. She had come to La Grange, Texas, for spring break to visit her cousin. One night she attended a bonfire party hosted in the woods behind the Troy family ranch. She was never seen again. Her car was found the next day, parked near the river with the driver's door open. Her shoes were inside. The case went cold within weeks. The official story became that she had drowned in the Brazos River, even though no body was ever recovered. Dean's journal revealed otherwise. She embarrassed Mason Troy, told him off in front of everyone for harassing another girl. She said she was going to the police. He followed her into the woods. Carter and I followed him. I thought maybe I could stop it, but it happened so fast. One shove. Her head hit a rock. And then there was blood. They had panicked, wrapped her in a tarp, driven her out to the edge of the property where the creek bed dried in the summer. We buried her where the dogwoods grow. I can still hear her bones cracking when the shovel hit them. Dean's words were filled with remorse. Over and over, he wrote about nightmares, about seeing her face, about hearing her voice calling from the grave. He confessed that he tried to come clean. He told his pastor, who dismissed him as delusional. He tried to tell the police, who thought he was just another drunk trying to shift blame. He described being followed, seeing shadows in the corners of his trailer, hearing whispers when no one else was there. "They don't want the truth out," he wrote in one panicked entry. "If something happens to me, it won't be an accident." Mason doesn't forgive. Carter's scared of him too. They said I'd end up like her. So he stopped trying. But he couldn't stop writing. "The guilt is killing me," he wrote 1 week before his death. "If no one will listen while I'm alive, maybe they'll listen when I'm gone." With court approval, Dean Harlan's grave was exhumed. The phone was confirmed to be his. Inside was a single audio recording. "If you find this, please look where the creek bends. Look under the dogwood. You'll find her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Deputy Ridley led a search team to the woods behind the Troy ranch. The dogwoods were in bloom. As they approached the location Dean described, silence fell. Even the birds seemed to stop. Under the soil, exactly where Dean described, they found a skeleton wrapped in faded blue tarp. Dental records later confirmed it was Emily Voss. Her skull had a hairline fracture. Her fingers were still curled inward, as though grasping at something even in death. The case exploded in the media. 25 years of silence shattered in a day. Mason Troy was arrested in Austin, where he had become a rising political figure. Carter Blake, now the owner of a local construction company and father of 3, was arrested outside a school board meeting. Both denied involvement, but the journal, the phone, and the body told a different story. The trial lasted 6 weeks. The defense claimed Dean was mentally ill, that Eli had faked the journal. But forensic analysis confirmed Dean's handwriting. Soil from his casket matched the journal's cover. And the cell phone, Dean's old burner, had been untouched since his death. A handwriting expert testified. Dean's brother, estranged but shaken, confirmed the voice in the audio was Dean's. A retired pastor admitted Dean had come to him, crying, asking for help, confessing to a terrible act. The pastor had assumed it was just a guilt-ridden fantasy. The prosecution revealed that Mason had once been investigated quietly for another sexual assault during his college years, but the case was dropped. Carter had a sealed juvenile record from when he was 17. Patterns were emerging. Eli Mercer testified on the final day. Cleaned up, shaved, still haunted. I was a coward back then. I saw things I didn't understand. Dean tried to make it right, but no one listened. He died alone, thinking no one ever would. But I heard him. I heard the dead. And I dug him up so someone else would too. The jury found Mason and Carter guilty of second-degree murder and conspiracy to conceal a crime. They were both sentenced to life in prison. The day after the verdict, Claire visited Dean Harlan's grave. It had a new headstone now, paid for anonymously. Dean Harlan, 1975 to 1999. He told the truth. We finally listened. She left the journal at the foot of the grave, wrapped in weatherproof plastic. She whispered, "Rest now. You're not alone anymore." Then she drove down to the Voss family farm, where Lillian Voss had just buried her daughter for the second and final time. This time, properly. And beside the grave, under a vase of fresh lilies, was a simple note. We found her. We believed her. She was never forgotten. What would you do if someone you trusted confessed to a murder 25 years later? Do you believe guilt alone is enough to redeem someone? How many other truths are still buried, waiting for someone to listen? If you believe the dead deserve a voice, hit that like button, subscribe for more true crime justice stories, and share this video with someone who needs to know. Sometimes the only way to solve a murder is to dig up the dead.